sport-related program that will very soon hit the airwaves, and it is being anchored, produced, and presented by Ibrahim Amane. He's also with us. He will be talking to us about the Soccer Sense, what it's all about. Well, those are the three key topics that we'll be discussing, and also be opening the lines so that you can have your say. As you know, this is a program that also gives you, the viewers, the chance to call and contribute towards the development of Gambian sports in general. Mr. Cham, welcome once again.
Yes, thank you very much, MS, and welcome to our listeners and viewers across the country. Yes, we are back here again because, as you know, before the match, there was various subcommittees, one of which I was a member, and we went around to tell the people about the significance of the match. And as you have already outlined, one of the objectives of the match had been achieved. We will touch on that later if Ibrahim introduces himself. So we are happy to be back and to engage you again as we try to revitalize our football and to discuss the arrival in the country of the first ever FIFA mission since the new executives come to power. What is the significance of their visits, and what are they expected to discuss? All this will be discussed later in the program.
Beomane, welcome once again. My very good friend.
Thank you very much, Lamin Cham, and thank you very much, Mr. MS. And it's good to be back on the program. Like you just said in your preamble, the significance of the match that was played on the 7th. I think, like you said, the details of it will be followed up. And I want to be part of that. Thanks.
No, you'll be part of it, don't worry. You're not here to talk about Soccer Sense only. Anyway, let's start with the FIFA ranking. Following the Gambia's 2-0 win over the Taifa Stars of Tanzania last Saturday at Independence Stadium, the Gambia has moved from 43 to 39th in the African ranking. A very, very, very a good improvement for Gambian football, Mr. Cham. This was one of the essence of winning the Tanzania-Gambia game.
Indeed, well, this is significant in a way that it was only after one match. Only in August, we are at 43. And at the time, if you look at the qualifying procedure of FIFA, and that's what CAF is going to use, if you are rooted at the 10 last teams in your qualifying zone, and in our case it's Africa, you run the risk of being paired with another country to play the preliminaries before the next major competition. And in this case, if it happens to us, we are going to be paired with a team we don't know. We don't know. It happened to us against Morocco in the World Cup qualifiers, 2002 World Cup qualifiers, which was also, in fact, I think, impregnated with that of the Nations Cup. All right. Once we were knocked out of that preliminaries, that means, of course, we are knocked out of everything. Yeah. World Cup and the Cup of Nations qualifiers. Thank God now those two tournaments have been separated. Now the World Cup and the Nations Cup would never meet again. Not in our time anyway, the way they program it. So, but all the same, if you can avoid the preliminaries, you stand a chance to perhaps, with a little bit of luck, to advance further in a qualifying. For example, we might get into the same group with, all right, well, it's not easy now to find minnows in football. But we might have Rwanda, we might have Lesotho, we might have Swaziland. I mean, they don't have a strong footballing tradition as we have. And probably we might be lucky, and come out from that group. But then if you have to meet a nation like Morocco, or a nation like a better organized nation like, let me say, Cape Verde Islands, So the problem there is you almost have a intense competition. Even before you start anything, you realize that you have to fight very hard, in order to have a respite, in order to have a breathing space. So this is what the Gambia had all along wanted to avoid. It was almost nearly too late, but thank God we started very strongly against Tanzania and won 2-0. And within this space, when the rankings came up, we moved 4 steps. Now, this is significant because if this trend continues, certainly this is what we have been yearning for in Gambian football. If we could move 4 steps with only one match, definitely, if we could really win more international matches, we probably might get to the 20s. You know, in 2009, we were in the 20s. That was a very good moment for Gambian football, yeah. Because, you know, that is why, you know, we had always said, all right, one thing you might say of the past GFA executive, okay, you might criticize their management style, but you can't deny that football was progressing because we were, you know, top of almost in the first 20, in the first 30s in the rankings.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Okay, you might have qualms with their management, that's another thing. But to say that the football was not advancing was a little bit too far, we had said it. So we have to try and improve on these FIFA standards, and the challenge before the new GFF is to make sure that they devise and maintain a policy where they will be able to attract all the big brands in our football, and of course attract the whole nation, rally them around this campaign of getting our football back on a high pedestal. I think this is a very good starting, and we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, we will be talking about the way forward now that we have started moving. Ibrahim, many people were saying what was the essence of the Gambia-Tanzania game, even if you beat them 10-0, you're not qualified. But now we have seen one of the importance of winning that game, and a very important one for that matter. Moving from 43 to 39 in the African ranking is definitely good for Gambia, whose football is definitely at a crossroads.
Yeah, you are right. Thank you very much, Anas. I think all member associations' commitment to international federations, whether it's CAF and FIFA, is the national team. It is the yardstick that your performance is being, you know, ranked across the other venues. So, like we said previously, we've spoken about the importance of the game, and I think the results of the game has vindicated that. Well, let's look at what we have achieved. What we have achieved, Lamin just said, we improved four places through the ranking. And in the world, we are now 133. That is very good, number one. And number two, what does that have done for Gambian football? It brought pride back to the spectatorship and the people associated with football. What also was evident and important was what have we learned from it. Because like I said, I've said it before, that the GFF has used this occasion to learn. And I believe feedbacks of people who were given responsibilities as to be in certain positions, like Lamin said, he served in some of the committees. I think their reports will reach at the GFA sooner. And I think the executive will look into that and look at the strengths and the weaknesses to see how they strengthen the weaknesses and then further strengthen even the strengths. So one of the reasons, like I said, the last time around, the GFA the current executive felt the need that the people who have been working to continue and then the rest assist them while we learn from them till when they will start their own campaign. So now the winning has brought a lot of things on stage. We were able to go through the information network to find out that there are at least 20 to 30 players who haven't even sold for Gambian football yet. And most of these players are playing in League Ones across Europe. And some of the players that have grown and from under 17 to under 20 under Osam Dudu through Port Put, and even under the current coach, some of them were missing. So, like Lamin said, there should be a sort of a policy whereby the GFF will set up a task force, sort of a reconciliation mandate to make sure to reach to these people. Reaching these people doesn't necessarily mean you sit down on the phone, hi, we are now the executive and this and that. I think you should go play, parents play a vital role in players' decisions. You should see the parents, and the parents will link you up with these players wherever they are. And then it is incumbent and very important for whoever is going to represent the GFF to go and meet these people in person at their clubs to make sure, to reassure them that the country, this is what they want, and let them recommit once again to the development and their participation to the country.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Chan, we have now started moving on a right footing.
Yeah.
And like the president said, that is Mustafa Kebe the other day at the game when I interviewed him, saying, this is going to continue. The Gambia is a footballing nation, and we have to move on. What is next now? What should be done to make sure this is sustained and to make sure that we continue improving?
Yeah.